अन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। Okay, let's see. All right. Thank you for joining for one more session of Valmiki Ramayana with some insights and commentaries by different acharyas. My focus definitely is to give the different understandings and commentaries from different acharyas. Definitely, that is the case, to make it a very fascinating and enjoyable and appreciative study. My particular focus is mostly on lessons that we can glean from this scripture and hopefully put it into practice. At least one of the outcomes of studying Ramayana and trying to apply in one's life, you get at least one of the possible realizations. One, we get a stark realization of how far we are from the standards of humility. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say we. I am from the standards of humility, tolerance, kindness, non-reactiveness. That how far we are from that. I am from that. Or in those rare cases that I'm able to apply something, I know for a fact that we can experience a surge of joy and a surge of empowerment to face life and its challenges. And third is, it leaves us with a taste for wanting to become more aware and wanting to transform into a personality full of qualities. And I'm sure there are other realizations, but minimally these three should come out of it. So let's go to where we were. Where we left off was at the end of chapter 11 of Ayodhya Kanda. Kaikeyi has made her demands. Dasharat Maharaj is in shock, and he hasn't had a chance to respond. Kaikeyi's requests were, I want Bharata to be crowned, the prince, regent, with all the paraphernalia that you have gathered for Ramachandra. I want Bharata to be crowned. And second, Ramachandra should go to the forest for 9 plus 5 years. And she gave her reasonings. So chapter 12 is the lamentations of Maharaj Dasharath. We're only going to do chapter 12 today. There are a few very significant verses to cover with some nice lessons and appreciations, etc. So let's see how far we get. So this is how chapter 12 starts. Tat shutva Maharajaha Kaikeya Darunam Vachaha Chintam Abhisamapede Muhurtam Pratatapacha. So when Dasharath Maharaj heard the very unbelievably dreadful words of Kaikeyi, Darunam Vachaha, Maharaj Dasharath became engulfed in grief and was so distressed for a moment. He didn't know what hit him. Muhurtam means there are different calculations of muhurta. In this context, muhurtam api means for a moment. He couldn't realize what hit him. Now we may say, so what's so significant if Dasharatha Maharaj was dumbstruck or dumbstruck for a moment? That's a human thing. But please bear in mind, this is the emperor. And emperors are, at least Dasharath Maharaj is of a quality of emperor who is so advanced. And nothing can be shocking to him. And that is why he's an emperor. And he's one of the greatest leaders. And there can't be anything that can check his intelligence. Simple words of Kaikeyi, I'm saying simple because coming from his beloved queen, those words were so shocking that his intelligence stopped working. His mind and senses became inert for a moment. So it's a massive shock. He can't believe the words that Kaikeyi has just uttered. So he tries to recover from it. And the way he recovers from it, he says, is this a dream? Am I dreaming? Or is this a hallucination of the mind? Is my mind playing tricks? Or is it some evil that is going to happen and I'm getting sort of a premonition of it? Or have I become old enough that I am becoming senile or I'm becoming demented? Is this what's going on? And he started wondering. And then the king, while he was absorbed in these thoughts, there was no solace for his heart. He was so startled by these words. The shloka says that he was like a deer who's happily eating grass in the forest when it sees a tigress not far away waiting to pounce on him. The startle and the state of shock that a deer goes through. His entire senses became numb, as I said again. And so what happened is a king who's so powerful as the emperor, who can stand his ground, sank to the bare floor, heaving deep sigh. He could not fathom. And his sighs were like a venomous serpent that goes. He just could not gather himself, and he kept saying, "What a pity! What a pity!" and just lay there on the ground. Then the shloka says, after a long time, he regained his consciousness. So he became unconscious. So some commentators say that this was roughly around 11 o'clock in the night. And he fell unconscious. And after a long time, came back to his senses. Chirena. Chirena means after a long time. Chirena tu nripa sasamgyaha. He gathered his wits. Pratilamba sudukkitaha. And he became extremely aggrieved. Kaikeyim abravit krudra pradaha.
Prabhu, we can't hear you, Prabhu.
Can't hear you, Prabhu.
Prabhu, we are not able to hear you.
Did we get disconnected?
Lovers say to each other. But now he's saying, Nrushamse dushtacharitri kulasyasya vinashini kim kruta tava ramena papam pape maya piva. So first he says, Nrushamse, you woman of a cruel and sinful nature. Dushtacharitre, your character is horrible. It's degrading. Kulasya asya vinashini. Asya kulasya vinashini. You are the cause of destruction of this great lineage. And then he says, Kim krutam tamam papam. What sin or what has Ramachandra done? What wrong has Ramachandra done to you? Or Maya apiva? Or what have I done? What have I done so bad to you that you have stooped to this level? So notice, and I will highlight those verses for you. He again and again calls her Nrushamse. Nrushamse means unbelievably cruel. So he keeps telling her, how can you be so cruel? How can you be such a cruel woman? Then he says, listen, that Ramachandra, who was always looking up to you as if you were his own mother, in fact, more than that. So I don't understand what is your reason for seeking such injustice towards him. And I thought when I married you that I was marrying such a delightful girl that comes from such a wonderful family. So her genes must be very good. But actually what I have done is I have created a means for my own destruction. It is just like I have brought a venomous serpent and kept it on my lap. You're like a venomous serpent. So generally, it is said that in cobras, if the male cobra is killed or dies, then the female cobra becomes very, very virulent and poisonous for the sake of, from the pain she experiences of that separation. So he feels that he has brought this venomous serpent now as his wife. And then he says, listen, for me, Ramachandra is such a person without whom I cannot live for a moment. I can live without my other queens. Kausalyam va Sumitram va tyajeyam api va shriyam. I'm willing to give up Kausalya. I'm willing to give up Sumitra. I'm willing to give up my entire wealth. Jivitam va, even my life I'm willing to give up. Atmano Ramam na tatveva pitruvatsalam. My affection for Lord Ramachandra is such that I can put my life at risk, my wealth at risk, Kaushalya, Sumitra, everyone I can give up, not Ramachandra. That my affection for him is such. As I'm reading these verses, the picture in mind we want to have is Dhritarashtra is not a weak or faint-hearted person. He's the emperor of the world. That emperor who can give orders to anybody is now begging. Okay, so please understand the great distance in consciousness he has covered. He's begging. Emperors never beg, right? We know from Bhagavad Gita that Kshatriyas never beg. In fact, when Arjuna said, I would rather beg than fight, Krishna chastised him. What kind of words are you speaking? These are words of a coward. They don't give glory to an Arya. Klaibyam mas magamav partha. He says, don't speak like a yonak. Klaibyam. Klaibyam mas magamav partha naiva tat upapadyate. This does not suit you. You're talking like a weak fellow, a coward. So it is the similar situation. Dasharatha, who's the emperor of the world, has steeped to the state of begging. He's begging Kaikeyi. And then he says, listen, Kaikeyi, when I see Ramachandra, my heart experiences a sense of delight that is incomparable and unparalleled. But if I don't see him, even for a moment, then my life seems to lose meaning. So the verse before, he called it Vatsalya. He says Pitru Vatsalyam, Pitru Vatsalam. So this is the love between Ramachandra and me. So this, now from a rasa perspective, his Vatsalya rasa, he's expressing what kind of intensity it has. That if he gets a moment's glance of Ramachandra, then his heart is delighted. But even if a moment of absence of Ramachandra's vision, then his heart is yearning and is in severe distress. The gopis of Vrindavan, they speak low of Lord Brahma as a creator with bad technology. They say, what kind of creator is Brahma? He has created eyelids. Because whenever we blink, in that moment of blinking, we cannot see Krishna, and it gives our heart great pain. So it is the Shringara Rasa at its peak. In this case, it's the Vatsalya Prema at its peak. He's speaking about the pain of anticipated separation, the pain that is coming from this anticipated separation. And he says, listen, this world can exist without the sun, which is not possible. This world can exist without crops or food, which is also not possible. But he's saying, and it can exist without water. It's also not possible. So he's taking all the impossibilities and saying, if it's possible, if at all, this world can somehow survive without the sun. It can somehow survive without food and water. But without Ramachandra, my body cannot exist. My life cannot exist in my body. That means if I don't get sunlight, that's okay. If I don't get food and water, that's okay. What nourishes me is the glance or presence or the sight of Lord Ramachandra. Then he says, Tadalam, tad alam means right now, these are enough reasons. Tad alam, these are enough reasons. Tyajatam esha nishchayaha papa nishchaye apite charano murdhna samprashayamesha prasidame. Prasidame means please show me your mercy. Prasida means to show mercy. So prasida me, please show me your mercy. And to evoke some drop of mercy in your extremely sinful heart. Papa nishchaya is you've determined to be sinful. I'm trying to evoke a small atom worth of compassion, and I'm going to do it by putting my head to your feet. I'm going to touch your feet with my head. Te charanau, both your feet, murdhana samprushayamesha. I will put my head to your feet. An emperor begging that I will bow down at your feet to somehow see if you can be merciful of not being so determined in your sinful sankalpa. Now he goes back and forth. One he calls her Nrusham se Papanashini, Kulavinashini. Then he's begging her. So as we read these verses, please don't look for logic. Generally, when we study a section of Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, then there is some logical progression in the prayers. And the one idea develops over the other. In this case, there is no such order. In fact, it's very disorderly. And that disorderliness is to convey the distress of his heart. What he's experiencing, he doesn't make any sense. One hand, he chastises her, then he begs her, then he pleads with her, then he's crying, and then he's tormented. It's a mix. It's a complete mix. Then he says, "Oh, sinful one, how can you get such a dreadful thought? Do you want to know what I like or dislike? Do you ever want to know what Bharata likes or dislike?" Okay. By speaking the way you're speaking, I'm confused because you are the one who would always say, Rama is my eldest son. He is the most noble. He is the foremost in discharging all his duties. When you would speak such words, they would bring delight to my heart. And now you're tormented with this, something's influenced your heart, and you're making all these insinuations. And just that you've been sitting in this Kopa Gruha and you're causing me such distress. Listen, Kaikeyi, so far, I always thought that you have some morality. Your moral compass is completely shattered. Your mind has become like a trash can. It's so degraded. And great immorality has now struck the entire Ikshvaku race. He says, oh, large-eyed Kaikeyi. Now he's glorifying her. He's trying to say nice things about her. He says, Nahi kinchit yuktam va vipriyam va puramama. See, previously, Kaikeyi, you never said anything displeasing to my heart. Akarostvam vishalakshi. Vishalaksha is a woman with very, very beautiful eyes. Tena na shradghamayaham. Say you have beautiful eyes. That means you can see things properly. Right now, looks like your vision is completely destroyed. So he's evoking in her the eyes that have been closed to be opened with knowledge. This is the condition of a person who has been bitten by the serpent of envy, that their eyes lose their vision. Therefore we pray, Om Agyana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The spiritual master who opened my eyes that were otherwise filled with darkness of ignorance. So he's telling her, you have big eyes, but they're filled with darkness. Then he calls her childish. He says, Subala, a childish one. You're being very childish in your request. You used to tell me how wonderful Ramachandra is, even how loving Ramachandra is to you, even more Bharata, even more than Bharata. Now you want such a Ramachandra to live in the forest for 14 years? Are you out of your mind? Look at Ramachandra. His body is so tender, so delicate, yet he is a firm follower of Dharma. And such a person, you want him to live in a forest? Oh, Kaikeyi with very, very attractive eyes. Why do you want Sri Ramachandra, who's so charming and always eager to serving you, be exiled to such a far away and dangerous place? In fact, Ramachandra does more and greater service to you than Bharata. Therefore, I can't find any reason for you to have special love for Bharata. So from Dasharatha's side, he can't find why she is this way. And where we ended last time was the Bhagavad Gita starting with Mamakah Pandavaschaiva. As soon as a person is captivated by I and mine, then their ability to see themselves and others as part of a larger social fabric goes away. A person becomes steeped in a very myopic, selfish world of themselves. They become insular, very narrow-minded. So Dasharatha is saying, you never had this. So I'm at a shock. Look at Ramachandra and look at how many attendants you have in the palace. Susrusham Gauravam Chaiva Pramanam Vachana Kriyam Bahunam Stri Sahasranam Bahunam Chopajivanam. He says there are thousands, Sahasranam Stri, there are thousands of women and thousands of men inside your chambers who are always eager to serve you, and they regard you at the highest level. So why do you want, when you have so many servants, why do you want this kind of ghastly service to be done by Ramachandra? The people are always eager to serve you. You should be happy with that. In fact, Ramachandra is such a person that he has won the trust of every inhabitant of the country. He has secured their affection. And so he's not even reproachable. There is no reason for me to suddenly say, go out of the kingdom. Here's a beautiful verse, if you can remember. I'll see if I can send it to you. This is coming from the heart of Dasharatha that is full of affection for Ramachandra. And he says, this is how Ramachandra won over the hearts of everyone. Satyena Lokan Jayati. He wins over the entire world by being truthful. Dinan Danena Raghava. And those who are downtrodden or not so fortunate, he is very, very charitable to them. Guru Shushrushaya. He wins over the hearts of his spiritual masters by rendering humble menial service to them. Viro Dhanusha Yudhi Kshatravan. And those who approach him with weapons and want a fight with him, then from a chivalrous perspective, he can win over their heart. So every category and range of person he can win over. I'll say it again. Satyena Lokan Jayati, Dinan Danena Raghava, Guru Shushushaya Viro, Dhanusha Yudhi Shatravan. Then he says, he continues, these are the qualities of Ramachandra. So these verses are good meditation. If you ever come in front of Sri Ramachandra's deity or in our prayers, then these are words of glorification. Like Brahma Samhita prayers, we come in front of Kishore Kishori and we say Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dalayataksha, etc. Similarly, Satyam Danam Tapastyagaha Mitrata Shauchamarjavam Vidya cha Guru Shushusha Dhruvan Yetani Raghave. So he gives a list of Ramachandra's qualities. First, Satyam, truthfulness. Danam, charity, charitableness, or being so kind in giving. Tapasya is very austere. Tyagaha is renounced. Mitrata, he is very, very friendly. That means he's very approachable. Anybody can approach Lord Ramachandra. Shaucham, very, very pure. Arjavam, very simple. Simple-hearted Ramachandra, not at all complicated. Vidya, very knowledgeable, very wise. Cha, and Guru Shushusha. He has got this knowledge and wisdom by being a humble servant. And these qualities, Dhruvan, Yetani Raghave, all these qualities have very firmly taken heart or taken place in his character. So there is nothing wrong or there is no flaw in Ramachandra as to why he should go to the forest. Then he says, why do you want to punish someone like Ramachandra who is similar to the demigods in his luster and effulgence, and he's equal to the great sages because he's very wise. And he says, how can I, for your sake, speak these harsh words to Ramachandra? What's the harsh words? Go away to the forest. Make Bharata the king is not harsh word, because for Ramachandra he doesn't care. But go away to the forest would be very harsh. Especially, how can I use harsh words to Ramachandra when he is always speaking very pleasing words to every person he meets? And never has he uttered an unpleasant word, if I can ever recall. Not even once. Nasmaram apriyam vakyam lokasya priyavadinaha. I cannot even remember even once if he had ever spoken something unpleasing or unpleasant to the people of the world, because he is priyavadina. Sa kadham tattve ramam vakshyami priyama priyam. To such a person who is very dear, how can I speak something that is very unpalatable? And then he says, if Ramachandra goes away, where will all the wonderful qualities take shelter? There is no place. That means whole of Ayodhya will be bereft of all these wonderful qualities. Kshama, yasmin, idam, satya, yasmin, idam, stayagaha, satyam dharma kritagyataha, apyahimsa cha bhutanam, tamrute ka gatirmama. Ramachandra is the embodiment of kshama, forgiveness, tolerance, renunciation, truthfulness, righteousness, gratitude, and non-violence. If he goes away, these qualities will also go away. We will not have any standard, we will not have any reference point at all. So please imagine, Kaikeyi, by your actions, the outcome is such that not only me, who's going to die, the whole of Ayodhya will become immoral. Then he begs, oh Kaikeyi, please show your mercy on this old wretched fool. I am almost at the verge of my death. I'm wailing pitifully. I'm begging you. I can give you anything that you can imagine on this earth that is possible in land or in water. So don't show any anger. And now his begging has reached a new low. He says, Anjalim Karomi, I'm folding my hands. Kaikeyi, Padau Chapi Samsprshamite. I'm folding my hands and I will touch your feet. Sharanam Bhavaramasya. Please give Ramachandra proper shelter. Don't be a mother that denies him the shelter that he deserves. Ma adharmo ma miha samsprshet. And by relieving me of the burden of sending Ramachandra away, you will make sure that I will not be a sinful man. So Kaikeyi, please. Dashrath Maharaj, by this time, his eyes are filled with tears. His heart completely shattered. His senses switched off. So they're not even active anymore. They've become inert. His head is reeling. He's overwhelmed with pain and grief. So again and again, he's begging her, please don't drown me in an ocean of sorrow, Kaikeyi. Please relieve me as quickly as you can. So then, Kaikeyi, who's seeing all this, someone is begging, but her heart has become so hardened. She says, oh, great king. So she is now being sarcastic. She says, Rajan, oh, great king, if you repent like this after giving me the 2 boons, how are you talking about righteousness? You promised me, and now you're saying you want to break your promise. Is that righteous? Is that proper? Oh, person who knows what is correct, what is not correct, Dharmagya. So she's calling him Dharmagya. So many Raja Rishis are all standing around you, and they will stand. You will stand in their assembly, and they will ask you, why did you not fulfill your promise to Kaikeyi? What answer will you give? You'll say, oh, because I didn't like it. Is this what a king is supposed to do? Just do something on the basis of I like or I don't like? What happened to your morality? You're calling me immoral. What happened to your morality? And then she says, this Kaikeyi, to whom I promised these boons. Actually, why? Kaikeyi is the one who saved my life on 2 occasions. So today, if I am standing here and I'm an emperor, it's only because of Kaikeyi. And I am ashamed to say that I cannot fulfill the promises I've given to her. So not only you become immoral, you're so ungrateful. Okay. O king, you have given 2 boons and now you're denying from fulfilling them. So you called me Kulanashini, that I am destroying the great heritage. Actually, you are bringing a blemish to the great kings of Ikshvaku race. So this is the word she says. Kilbisham, Tvam Narendranam. You are the one who's putting a blemish on the great kings. Karishyasi Naradhipa. Yodatva Varam Adyeva Punaryani Bhashase. You're calling me all these words, but actually it is you, and you are going to bring all the great kings. You're going to bring down their character. So let me give you some examples of Dasharatha. Do you remember King Shibi, who's one of your ancestors. What did King Shibi do? He promised a pigeon that I will give you shelter when that pigeon was being harassed by an eagle. So to protect that pigeon and the promise given to the pigeon, King Shibi gave pieces of his own flesh and put it on a weighing scale. So if you know the story of King Shibi, when the eagle had come in and said, this pigeon is my food. Oh Shibi, if you are protecting him, then what will I eat? So Shibi said, well, I already promised the pigeon. So in return, I will give you my own flesh. And so the eagle said, all right, give me flesh that is equal in weight to the pigeons. So they bought a weighing scale. On one side, they put the pigeon, and the other side, King Shibi cut off his own flesh. But the interesting thing is, as he was putting flesh on this side of the scale, the pigeon was becoming heavier and heavier. So King Shibi wondered, what kind of a pigeon is this? So lanky, but darn heavy. And later it comes out that the pigeon is Agni and the eagle is Indra, and they came to test the charitable nature of King Shibi. So she's reminding him, remember King Shibi, your ancestor? All right. Now you remember King Alarka, who's also another ancestor. What did he do? He promised a blind man, and to fulfill his promise, King Alarka removed his own eyes and donated them to this blind man and gave the blind man vision, and he became blind himself. Let's take King Sagara. Now she uses it in the context of how the ocean has promised. The oceans have promised that whatever happens, we will not cross the shore and take away land. So Lord Krishna also uses this example in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, text 72. He says, just as rivers are constantly flowing into an ocean, feeding limitless water to the ocean, but the ocean never crosses its own limits. It never becomes disturbed by the overwhelming desires. Such how a yogi is. So she says, the Sagara has promised never to cross over, except tsunami times. So she says, now you remember all these great kings? Now, where do you stand in comparison to them? And she calls him a wicked-minded king. He says, oh, wicked-minded one, you are giving up morality, you are giving up dharma, and only because Ramachandra is your favorite, you want him to be the king and you want to enjoy with Kausalya. And she says, actually I'm not interested in this dialogue of what is correct, what is not correct. I'm just not interested. You promised me, you fulfill it. Bhavat adharmo dharmo va. Okay. What is right? What is dharma? What is adharma? Satyam va yadi va. Whether it is truthful or not, I don't care. Yatva samshrutam mahyam tasya nasti vyatikramam. So there should be no deviation from what you've promised me. And let me tell you, this is the final harsh words that she says. Listen, if you coronate Ramachandra, I will immediately give up my life as you're watching me. In front of you, I will drink excessive poison. Marishyamihi, I will indeed die. Pashyaste, as you're watching me, okay? Visham adyeva pitva bahu, in front of you, I will drink a whole bunch of poison and kill myself. I want to digress. I found that for persons who are trying to practice Krishna consciousness, and they have given up eating meat and they have certain practices. So parents of certain young people, they become very threatened. They become threatened that my son or daughter is giving up all the things that we taught them. They feel rejected. Although the child is not really rejecting them, but they feel rejected. And in many cases, the parents will say, oh, I will give up my life. That's the classic uh, blackmailing of a parent. I will kill myself. Do you want to see the complete destruction of the family? Do you want to see me die? That's the, and in different languages, they say it differently, but that's what they're asking. Do you want to see me die? As if this would be the cause for someone to die. So here they're getting, their Acharya is Kaikeyi. Then she says, if I see Ramachandra's mother receiving respects from everyone, even for one day, I will prefer death over that. I cannot stand to see Kausalya being revered as the mother queen, or queen mother. And he says, oh, great king Dasharatha, I swear on Bharata, and I swear on my own life that nothing less than Ramachandra's banishment will satisfy me. You cannot give me anything else. And after saying this, Kaikeyi became silent. And she did not give heed to how much ever lamenting, crying, begging Dasharatha was seeking from her. So again, Dasharatha Maharaj is dumbstruck, looking or hearing Kaikeyi's demands. And with each time, Kaikeyi's demands were becoming more and more intensified. First she asked sweetly, then she asked determinedly, and now she spoke it with all venom. So he became so angry that he didn't want to speak to Kaikeyi anymore. Then he tries one more attempt. With his eyes fixed in gaze at his very, very beloved wife, who was speaking such unpleasant words, Dasharatha Maharaj, charged with complete anguish, he felt like a thunderbolt had hit him. And when he looked at his queen, who seemed so determined, he didn't know what to say, what to do. All that he came out of his mouth was, oh, Rama. And he fell down on the ground like a tree that is cut off. When you cut a tree, or when anyone cuts a tree, this big tree just falls to the ground. That's how Dasharatha fell down. And it says that this Lord of the earth became a man, became like a deranged man. He started behaving like a sick person and like a serpent or a snake whose entire energy has been removed by mantra. He became lifeless. Because a sick person who can be very energetic, when they're sick, are just lying down in bed, incapacitated. Or a serpent whose poison has been taken away just sits there and cannot do anything. And a deranged man or a deranged person just sits there. Manda is what the word is, Sanskrit. Then he tried one more attempt. Now he became very, very humble. Okay. And in humility, he says, O Kaikeyi, why are you exhibiting such an unfortunate act? That is not at all beneficial to you, although you think it is beneficial. Are you not ashamed of yourself, who's speaking like as if you're possessed by some evil spirit? He says, I never knew earlier when you were young that you had such a perverse mind, perverted mind. But now I'm seeing how you have become reversed, how your mentality has completely reversed. You're asking for Bharata to be the king and Ramachandra should live in the forest. Where did you get such a fear in your heart? I mean, how is it possible? Again, Nusham se Papa Sankalpe Kshudre Dushtakarini Kinnu Dukham alikam va mai rame cha pashyati. Very similar words. Now he added more adjectives. Nusham se, cruel woman. Papa sankalpe, a woman with a sinful resolve. Kshudre, a vile person. Dushtakarini. I have not done any harm to you, nor has Ramachandra. Then how can you be so? Now, let me tell you something about Bharata, Kaikeyi. You think that if Bharata becomes, that if Ramachandra goes to the forest, Bharata will become the king? I don't think so. Okay, very, very amazing verse that Dasharath Maharaj is saying. Now he is glorifying Bharata even greater than Lord Ramachandra. He says, Na kathanchit drute, na kathanchit drute, Ramad Bharato Rajyam Avesit, Rajyam Vasit, Rajyam Avasit, Ramad Apihim Tam Manye Dharmato Balavattaram. Listen, Kaikeyi. Bharata, in the matter of being righteous, is stronger than Ramachandra. Ramad api balavattaram. In Sanskrit, there are three grades. Like in English too, we have comparative, comparative and superior. Like good, better, best. So he's comparing, when you compare two, you use the comparative. So he's saying Balavat Taram. So in Sanskrit, there is Balavat, Balavat Taram, and Balavottamam. When you are comparing among many. So he says, Ramad api balavattaram dharmato. Bharata is more dharmic or more righteous than Ramachandra. And how will he manifest it? That he will not ascend the throne. Because he always considers Ramachandra as a superior. So he will absolutely not take the throne. So even if you determine that it's there, and even if I promise so, Bharata will never be the king. And now Kaikeyi, when Ramachandra is going to the forest, how can I look at his face? Almost it will be like eclipsed moon. I cannot look at him. And installing Ramachandra is not just my whimsical. I have discussed with all my friends, my ministers, sages, and other administrators. How can I reverse this decision? It's like going to a fight and then just suddenly retreating because I saw some enemy. Now, kings from different regions have already come here, because tomorrow morning, in a few hours, Ramachandra will be the crown prince. And they will say, what an ignorant fellow and what a degraded fellow Dasharatha is, that he changed his mind. How in the first place did he rule such a kingdom for such a long time? Was he crazy? And then when all these learned people will ask me, why did you change your determination? What will I answer them? All I have to tell them was, my wife doesn't like it. I was tormented and tortured by Kaikeyi. That is why I've sent Ramachandra. Imagine if I tell people I've been tormented by my wife, of course they'll think of me as a useless, henpecked fellow, but what will they think of you? What will the world think of you? What will Kausalya say to me if I send Ramachandra? She said, what answer can I give her? Kausalya is always thinking about my welfare. And she has served me like an attendant, like a servant. She has served me as a friend, as a wife, as a sister, as a mother. And she deserves proper treatment by me. So in this case, when he says that she has served me in these ways, so as an attendant or as a servant means she has been very courteous in serving my needs. As a friend, she's there as an equal, giving me advice. As a wife, she has borne me a son. She's been there with me in performing all dharmic yagyas. As a sister, she was there for me when I needed some consolation of the heart. She was there as a sister. As a mother, she sheltered me. In Sanskrit, mother is called Mata. Mata has two uh, uh, pieces to it, Ma and Ta. So we use the word Ma means do not, right? Maya. So Ma is not, and Ta is Tapa. So a mother is the one who shelters her child from any distress. So she's been like a mother for me also. So she says, I have done so many favors for you, like a sick person afflicted by eating rice mixed with some unwholesome sabji. Uh, I am now feeling heartburn. When we eat something that is not proper, or stale or putrid, then we get heartburn. So he's saying, you're like that. When I was eating, I was enjoying like anything, but now the outcome is heartburn. You're burning my heart. What will I tell Sumitra? What answer will I give Sumitra if she questions me? And worst case, when Sita will hear that Rama is going to be sent to the forest, she was just going to fall down on the ground. And what answer will I give her? What face can I show her? Vaidehi. She will be lamenting like a Kinnari who's been abandoned in the Himalayan slopes. And that will kill me just to see her like that. With Ramachandra living in the forest and Sita crying, I do not see any hope to live any longer. Kaikeyi, I'm letting you know, if you proceed with your determination, you will be a widowed queen. Okay, I will not be there. You will be a widow. Okay. And he says, I thought you were a chaste woman. I thought you were very beautiful, but behind your beauty is this poison that is hiding. And he gives the example that when poison is mixed with wine, and when people drink it, they think they're drinking wine, but they cannot understand that they're actually ingesting poison because wine is very attractive. And actually they're ingesting poison. A similar analogy is given by Sanatan Goswami, where he says, when you hear Mayavada that is spoken so nicely and couched in very nice words and beautiful stories or whatever, when you hear Mayavada, it's like drinking poison, drinking milk touched by a poisonous snake. It looks like milk, it tastes like milk, but it does not nourish like milk. In fact, it kills you. So Sanatan Goswami warns that one should not give any heed to Mayavada teachings. So here also he's saying like wine, it's very attractive, but it's poisoned wine. And then he goes on and on. He tells her that my biggest mistake was to marry you. You're like a rope that I brought, and I didn't realize that this rope has become a noose that's going to hang me and kill me. I did not realize that I was playing with death. Whenever I was playing games with you, we were sporting in the gardens and in our chambers. I didn't realize that I was sporting with death. Oh, wicked. I am the one that is horrible for having brought you as my wife. The whole world will condemn you. And finally, he said, alas, how foolish I have been. How lustful have I been. This is what people will say. He's so foolish, he's so lusty that for his queen, he sent his wonderful qualified son to the forest. And he said, then I have a problem. If I tell Ramachandra to go to the forest, I really wish that he will say no. And that would be great. But he's the kind of son who cannot say no. In fact, he'll say, no problem. When do you want me to go? In fact, I'll go right now. In fact, he will do it, but I don't want him to do it. This is the kind of Ramachandra we're dealing with. Then he says, if I send Ramachandra to the forest, Yamaraj will become very upset with me, and he will immediately call me to his abode. He says, if Kausalya loses me, Rama, Lakshmana, and Shatrughna will also follow me to death, unable to bear this grief. So he lists out how everyone will die. Okay, I'm going to end this because we're out of time. So he says, if I die, I'm telling you right now, Bharata has no right to perform the last funeral rites for me. I would not allow it. I only want Ramachandra to do it, and Bharata cannot do it. You can live in the palace here. You can call yourself a princess or whatever. Everyone will look at me with contempt, and that is how I'm going to die. All right. There are more shlokas, but I'm going to pause here. Again, he calls her a cruel-hearted woman. The verse after verse after verse. Finally, the final verse of the chapter says, the king, with his heart in the grip of his wife, the woman, wailing like an orphan, tried to reach her feet, giving up his own self-respect. But he was not able to touch her feet because Kaikeyi stepped back and did not allow it to happen. And so he collapsed on the floor like a sick man. That's where chapter 12 ends. So let's see if there is some discussion, some comments. It's 11:05. Any thoughts,
Hare Krishna,
comments?
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This is Sridharanandas.
Yes, Prabhu, I know.
Prabhu, nice discussion. And I can see behind you a very, very beautiful painting today. The nice pickup. And I am missing the cow at least. The cow is not today there.
The cow is gone for grazing. There used to be a joke. There was a art competition, and different students had come to show their artwork. One boy returned a blank sheet of paper to the teacher. So the teacher asked, "What is this? Where is your drawing?" He said, "This is my drawing." So she asked, "What drawing is this?" He said, "This is a cow grazing grass." So she said, "What nonsense? Where is the grass?" He said, "The cow ate it away." She said, "Where is the cow?" He said, "She ate and went away." So I thought for a change, we're seeing cows, we'll see peacock. Cows here.
Haribol, Jai. Jai, Jai. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Firstly, on the topic of empty pages, I read a similar joke where someone was asked to write about what is courage, a 500-word essay. So the person writes 3 words there saying this is courage and just leaves it at that. Anyway, so my question was, so what would have been the consequences of Dasharatha asserting himself in this situation? Like, it seems to be very clear that he is quote unquote henpecked in this situation. And despite having so much love for Ramachandra, he's still kind of pleading with Kaikeyi. So why are the balances tipping in favor of Kaikeyi? Like, why, especially after he notices that she's being so negative? Like, my naive understanding of a relationship would be, let's say someone we really love is being innocent and then saying something wrong, then we try to somehow convince them and be like, no, this doesn't make sense. But here it's like bullet after bullet of negativity. So
Anirudh, what you are speaking are the naive, foolish words of one who's not married.
okay, got it. I thought that would be the response, but I thought I'd ask nonetheless.
No. This is not just a fight of a husband and a wife where the wife is being unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
She has punched him proverbially below the belt. Okay.
I see.
What is on the tipping scale, the weighing scale is this.
Mm-hmm.
On the one hand, Ramachandra is the most qualified person
Mm-hmm.
as the next king. His heart, Dasharatha's heart is full of love, and perhaps you could say almost biased love, but love.
Mm-hmm.
And on this side is he being a representative of the Ikshvaku race that who give their word and stand by their word.
I see.
That's the clash. The clash is not just, it's a wife that I got to talk to or tell her to go to hell.
Okay.
She's not just saying, fulfill my desire. She said, you gave me 2 boons when I saved your life. So you are a king who's known for 60,000 years as a one who always fulfills his promise and words. You are the one that will forever go down in history as a guy who could not keep his word. And for these kings, they're called Raja Rishis because once they give their word, that word stands above their own life. And that's why she is invoking Shibi, Alarka names, because Shibi cut off his own flesh to give for the life of a pigeon. A pigeon is like the most useless bird per se. I mean, not useless in a callous way. It's just a bird.
Right.
For that bird, he fulfilled his promise.
Right.
So that's the issue here of dharma. Should I be dharmic or should I be dharmic? And we're caught. Many of us are caught.
Mm-hmm.
And on this side, he has love for Ramachandra, and on this side, he has love for Kaikeyi too.
Right.
She's been the queen, she saved his life, and so she has capitalized on that weakness like anything. Although it is weakness, that he has weakness for her, and so she's asking him to become and stand up for fulfilling his promise.
Right. And just a quick clarification for more context. So these boons don't come with a yes but clause, is it? So it's like you give a boon, you fulfill it. That's it. There's no clauses.
There's no disclaimers or fine print, and that is who a king is. They have the courage of the heart to say, I give you any boon you want.
Got it.
Like Lord Brahma gave Hiranyakashipu a boon that he will be the heavyweight champion, undisputed heavyweight champion of the universe. All the demigods said, what will happen to us? He said, well, he pleased me and he got this promise.
Got it.
There was no, listen, yeah, but, or these are some parameters within which this promise will work. Not like that.
Got it, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, this is Harish. I am brother of Yashaswini Devi Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can
Hare
you hear
Krishna.
me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah. So I have one question. So basically, what I want to ask is Kaikeyi and Dasharatha and all over the people who are living in Ayodhya having a great association of Lord Rama and even their devotees as well, Lakshman, Bharat, all of them. So they are having. So this situation is perfect. I mean, this is the best scene we can have in the place, right? This everything is in place, but how and in such a beautiful scenario, the Kaikeyi got affected. She got an evil thought in her mind. It might have been injected from some other source, right? But at the end of the day, she got affected by evil thoughts. So what about our situation? We don't have. I mean, that's such beautiful association or whatever we have many materialistic things which are affecting us. So how can we save ourselves? So that we don't get affected, we can say we don't have such feeling that Kaikeyi is having that time.
Well, excellent question. If you allow me to modify it a little bit,
Yes, Prabhu.
rather than ask how can I not get affected, I think the question that is relevant to conditioned souls like all of us in the material world is, now that I'm affected, how can I recover from it? The fact that we have been afflicted by envy, that is why we are in the material world. We have dvesha towards the Supreme, and that is why we have a material body. So the idea is not how can I protect myself, because how do I cure myself? That should be the question. Now we're practicing Krishna consciousness, so we have some appreciation for it, and we don't want to be influenced, and from wherever we are. In my case, I'm at the rock bottom, but for all of others, wherever you are, instead of going down, we want to go up. How to protect to not go further down is to have what is called strength of heart. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, the reason you are lamenting is because you have weakness of heart. Hridaya daurbalyam. So he says, Tyaktva hridaya daurbalyam. You should give up that weakness of heart. It means it all is within us. We choose to give credence. We choose to give some value to words that will completely dilute our determination, our love for the Supreme. Because we chose, it has a effect on us. Now, think of a very simple example. Suppose I don't, I don't smoke, okay? And 10 friends of mine gather around me and say, hey, light a cigarette. And I say, no, I don't smoke. Then they will say, hey, come on, we're not asking you to smoke a pack, we're just asking you to smoke one. No, thank you. All right, not one, just take one puff. And they will make it sound so simple. Just one puff, man, come on. But if I say yes, the moment I've made a choice, I have allowed the entire malady to enter my heart. So this is where Krishna is saying, Hridaya Daurbalyam is your heart is not strong enough to say no. Kaikeyi said no. Then Manthara worked at it little by little, little by little. From no, it became, I'm not sure. Then it became, really, tell me more. Finally, it became yes, and then it became a determined yes. And the same principle is in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verses 62 and 63, I think. Dhyato vishayan pumsam sangasteshu pajayate. Sangat sanjayate kamaha, kamat krodho vijayate, and then krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti bhramsha, smriti bhramshat buddhinasha, buddhinasha pranashati. This is what's going on. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you for modifying that question perfectly.
Yeah.
Completely makes sense. Hare Krishna.
All right, last question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Haribol.
I'm Taruni.
Hare Krishna, Taruni. You have a very sweet voice.
I have a question that why does Manthara want to make Bharata the king and banish Rama to the forest?
Because Manthara is an insecure person. She sees that if Ramachandra becomes the king, Kausalya will become the queen, and Kaikeyi will not have a prominent and important position. And if Kaikeyi is not an important position, then Manthara has absolutely nothing. So she thinks that her own financial condition will become very bad. Okay? So she does not want that. She wants Kaikeyi to be the queen so that Kaikeyi can keep on as the queen mother, keep on giving her gifts and money and all that. She says it in the previous chapters. If you become like that, then what will happen to me?
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
You're welcome. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here. I know some of you may have some more questions. I have to get to some other place right now, immediately after this. So I can't continue today. Hold on to your wonderful questions. When we meet again, we will do. Now, from my side, my life situation has changed a little bit. So I'm thinking of going back to Saturday mornings. And especially for those who are in India, I know it gets late for you Sunday night. Children have school, of course, COVID, but soon people will have school and work. And we don't want Sunday nights to be late nights for anyone. And we're going to go back to Saturday mornings. So next week, not Sunday, Saturday. I will anyway send you a text. Until then, please meditate on Sri Ramachandra. He is very, very amazing, wonderful, charming, cooling personality to give us shelter, guidance, and a whole lot of love to fill our heart. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.